Quick shout out to my Patreons who keep this channel going. You can join my Patreon down in the description below. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the 19th episode of Higurashi When They Cry Mu/Go. This is Village Destroying Chapter, part number 2. I assume there's going to be a third part after this, more than likely, anyway. Yeah, so it seems as though, if I understand this correctly, which who knows if I do, I mean, just for reference, I mean, if you're watching episode 19 of this show, you probably already know what my situation, but just for clarity, I have not seen the originals, if that wasn't immediately obvious already, based on the previous 18 episodes where I've discussed that. From what I understand, this arc is taking place after the original arc ending, whatever that original arc ending is, either Higurashi Season 1 or Season 2, I don't know how Season 1 and Season 2 relate necessarily, but this is taking place after the actual ending, so it allows Rika to go on to St. Lucia, which then she gets sent back, which is the start of this arc. As far as I am aware, this is the bridge gap between the end of the original story, anime version at least, probably. I don't know if it's the end of the actual story from the visual novels, or how the visual novels play into this. It's probably not anywhere near close to this, but whatever. This is that bridge gap, and I imagine should explain why Satoko becomes a looper. If I had to guess. Because we know she is the looper now. It's just a case, well, not only do we need to know why she became a looper, maybe she's the reason that Rika got dragged back. That would seem to be the most obvious plot point. Whether that's going to be the case or not, who knows? It depends how long this arc goes on and how much of this arc we're going to spend exploring that versus how soon we get back to Hinamizawa after... Well, we're still in Hinamizawa currently because we're preparing for St. Lucia, but it depends on if we go to St. Lucia and then see exactly how we come back and things like that. Depends how long that takes. If that's the entirety of Village Destroying Chapter, or if Village Destroying Chapter is going to be this and something else. Who knows? But that's my understanding of it. Rika has revealed to Satoko that she wants to go on a study and go to St. Lucia. With Satoko, I think, was the point, though. It's not that she's abandoning Satoko entirely, it's she's abandoning Hinamizawa, but wants Satoko as well. And a lot of this recent episodes have been focusing on change, and how change is sad, but not necessarily bad. Like, it can be sad to watch things change and grow over time, but ultimately, you know, it is a net benefit for the world to change and move on and do all this stuff, which makes me wonder why Satoko would turn into a looper. Maybe she just cares about Rika that much that she doesn't want to be separated from her, but in theory, St. Lucia, they should go together, unless, now this is probably the most common option, she fails St. Lucia and Rika goes on to St. Lucia, she doesn't, and Rika decides, I'm not going to give up St. Lucia just for Satoko, abandons her, she resents that, turns crazy, whatever happens, Hinamizawa curse comes back, because apparently she's 100% clear, which, if you're explicitly told that, it means no, we just can't find it anymore. It's gotten to the point now where it can avoid detection. That's all that means. It doesn't mean it's gone. Like, you never trust anyone to say, oh, you do not have the infection. They have the infection. Like, that's just the rule of this type of show, right? So, yeah. That's where I think it's going to go. Like, something's going to happen. Satoko's going to be very, very downtrodden. Infection comes back, or it becomes an evolved form of Hinamizawa disease that allows her to become a looper, just like Rika was. Maybe that explains why Rika became one, unless that's part of the original story as well. I don't know. But yeah, that's where I imagine this story's going so far. So I guess we'll see how it ends up and how fast we're going to go through it. So let's get the episode up here. No point dilly-dallying. Let's get into the episode. Also, before my internet or Funimation decides to die, because that's been happening way more frequently. As per usual, these are time-based form reactions here on YouTube. If you want to see full picture-in-picture, you can go to my Patreon down in the description below. That has the full series on there currently, including other shows from this season. Future seasons, of course, will be on there as well. Certain other backdated shows, like Mario the Patriot, Jujutsu Kaisen as well, obviously. There's going to be movie reactions coming there as well, so you can see full versions of the movies with me reacting to them as well. But here on YouTube, we have to do time-based, so bottom left of the screen, you'll see the time of the episode. I'll count you down 3, 2, 1, play. Now, play, you start the episode, I start the episode, and we'll be in sync. Watch this one on Funimation as per usual, since that's who licensed it this season. We have the Kadokawa logo, then the Funimation logo, so about 10 seconds or so of logos. I'll call them out as they go past. You can also use screen flash on my face or the mic to tell when they see transitioning. So, with all that said, let's get into episode 19 of Higurashi New/Go, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Kadokawa and Funimation. Cheers. Here we go. Right where we left off last time. Because she's experienced this one for 100 years, so... Implying she doesn't currently have that. But she's the second fort. Ever since Keiichi took over. I don't know if you can necessarily worry too early for those. Probably. Sure. That's just how much she wants this, though. Right. Okay. I seriously thought we were going to be OP there. But we're not. She's off to study. Looks very fancy. Looks like an anime school. Really? Boarding school? Okay. Really? It's just so he can see her in the high school uniform, isn't it? Yeah, higher requirements. I'm certain they're going to use that higher requirements thing to. That's probably what's going to be the catalyst here. You think they're going to be of any help? That's harsh. I'm sure Reyna's fine. Oh boy. Satsuko's already not feeling. You say that. Not in bed. Is she studying still? Studying. See, everything's too jolly still. Let's be real. It's way too jolly for a Higurashi episode, but that's the point. Sure. Good insert song. I guess we're getting this instead of an OP. So a lot of time passing. Are we going to go straight to 87? So that's... Yeah, that is 3 years. Okay. It is entrance exam time. You can also tell in the voice acting that they've aged up a little bit. It's a nice touch. St. Lucia Academy. I mean, fancy academy. Fair. I'm still feeling like Sasuke's not going to get in, but Rika will. Got a horrible feeling. Admitted applicants. Is our number going to be on there? Two four two one. 3670. Okay. Okay. My theory is currently correct. Sure. Right. Right. The more they say it, the more it's going to happen. What was the number again? 3460, wasn't it? My memory's terrible, okay? Especially for numbers. 3670. Okay, I was close. Show it. Okay. Okay. Or is that a lie? Didn't explicitly show her number. I guess she got in, though. Okay. I think they knew that would be the first assumption of all of us. And that was a bait. So what actually happens? There she is. Well, that's Rika anyway. Where's Satoko? There she is. I'm guessing Rika maybe makes new friends now? They spend less time together? Of course, the fancy greeting. That's nice. Mm-hmm. You have no idea yet. Satoko late or what? Just barely made it, okay. Gonna be a very different experience. Oh boy, she's not gonna be a good fit for the school, probably. I don't think she's gonna enjoy her time here. Okay. Makes quite the impression. Yep. Obviously, getting popular. Mm-hmm. A rousing debate, of course. Debate on what, I wonder. Yeah, so this is where the divide starts, I guess. But are you living your dream? You said that about the studying. I'm sure she'll tire of this, but she won't. This is her dream. Probably has a. Yeah. She's lived for 100 years, technically. You're not. She's got 100 years on you. Did you have to have that music? Okay, yeah, you did have to have that music cue. Hmm. It's not going well for her. Not going well. Study hall after school. Hmm. Well, that's yeah. Yeah. Just have to leave the school. Hmm. Very high expectations in the school. This is where we start to see it. How does she just put it in a bag? Hmm. 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 Eh. Rika, what you gonna do? Gotta make a choice now yourself. Hmm. A lot of them. It's just how tough this school is. I'm quite surprised there wasn't that many in the after study hall though. Oof, that's a sentence. Ooh. Wow. Okay. Yeah. All that money. Yeah. Yep. Even further deprived of Rika. And so it begins. It's really beginning. It's really beginning. That dream with you. And yet. She did offer to help, though, to be fair, so it's not exactly Rika's fault. ED again. No ED animation again, just scroll. Looks like there's no after credit bit either. Well, you can see where it's starting to tear apart. I think we kind of all saw this coming, though. At least, to me, it seems somewhat obvious that this was going to be something that we'd do. I assume this despair and anger might serve to activate the Hinamizawa curse again. Or Hinamizawa disease, or whatever the hell they called it last time. I forget. Syndrome, whatever. Alright. Finish destroying chapter 3. Alright. So, yep, it's kind of pretty much going exactly as I kind of thought it would. The divide between Rika and Satoko is slowly expanding. And Satoko is becoming more and more angry at this situation. Now, it's not entirely Rika's fault to that. Not entirely. Some would argue that really it's just Satoko being selfish. But, you know. Considering this is late 80s, see, if this sort of thing happens, like, if this was set in modern times, the issue wouldn't be quite so it wouldn't be quite so bad, because at least in the modern times you have computers, you have mobile phones, you could reasonably contact someone and stay in touch with someone reasonably well, even if they're in a boarding school, unless that boarding school has particular rules on outside communication. I guess it depends on how strict the school would be. St. Lucia seems like it could be a school that would be rather strict on something like that, but I don't quite know how that would add up in modern times. But at least in modern times, if you are away and you're in different schools, you have much easier way of staying in touch, keeping up to date, and things like that. But because it's late 80s, those options really aren't there, and that's forcing this divide even further. So that kind of makes the choice of using the 80s as a setting even more impactful, because there's no easy way around this current issue particularly. I don't know if the creator was necessarily thinking that when they decided it would be in the 80s, but, you know, it's still a decent choice. It kind of works for this storyline. Again, not sure if they've taken that into account at all or not. But anyway, makes me wonder how they're going to explain it. But yeah, I think it's fair to say they're both kind of in the wrong in terms of this divide. But where the actual Hinamizawa syndrome starts to take effect again, or whatever it is that gives that red eye glow and the ability to loop, whatever it is that did that, apparently people are saying that Umineko might be involved. I have no reference to what that means. Isn't Umineko like another story of When They Cry? Because I've seen it before. I've seen Umineko When They Cry, right? Yeah, Umineko When They Cry was... It's something completely different, but apparently Umineko might be involved. I don't know how that would work, but apparently maybe some people are suspecting that, so that means nothing to me, because I know nothing of Umineko, but yeah. Those of you who are much more acquainted with the source material might have an idea if you're thinking the same thing or not, but I don't... No spoilers for Umineko either, because eventually maybe I'll get to Umineko. Who knows? Who knows where this journey will take me eventually. There's so much of this world that I'm kind of looking for, so, you know. But yeah, I'm curious to see how Satoko... I'm curious where it snaps. Because we're just waiting for the snap moment. We know exactly where it's devolving, and it's only going to keep getting worse from here, really. We're waiting for that one moment where it just snaps, and whether that be Hinamizawa syndrome rebounding, whether that be another outside source doing it, and we have St. Lucia syndrome or something stupid. I swear, if they call something St. Lucia syndrome, or wherever this school's based syndrome, if we literally have that as a plot point, dumb. But still, yeah, it's it's going to be that moment that snaps now that we're waiting for. Whether that be next episode, episodes after, who knows. We are getting at least a part 3, which even means next time we will get our answer as to when it snaps, which would then lead into a 4-part arc after that. Or we're going to get another episode for her to snap, and then we get a 3-part after that. Or we get a full 7-part of Village Destroying chapter. Who knows how these arcs are going to be structured. Longest have been 5, but I don't think we're going to have a 5 and then a 2. So it seems more likely we're going to have a 4 and a 3, or a 3 and a 4, whichever way around it ends up going. Or we're going to have all 7 as a single part. Who knows? Maybe we'd have village destroying, since this is what's going to happen to cause the loops in the first place, and then we'll have some form of resolution chapter, wherever it ends up being. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, very interesting. Again, it's one of those episodes that's kind of odd to judge, because it's another one of those setup episodes where, in of itself, nothing super important has transpired, but this is all useful for setting up the super important moment that's going to follow. And whether that be next episode or the episode after, you can see where they're going with it quite obviously. If they're going to pull a twist, then they're really, really saving it. But so far, I think things are going as predicted. More or less. Like, I'm quite surprised that they had Satsuko pass. I was like, that seemed like the very easy point for it to happen, but maybe this ends up working better, because if you get rejected from the school and you can no longer see Rika, you do have that decision of Rika. Like, is she gonna follow her? Like, that's a very contentious moment. Does she follow her dream without Satsuko, or does she prioritize Satsuko over her? That would be an instance, like, Satsuko fully knows exactly where she stands in Rika's mind. Like, the school is more important to her than Satsuko. That would give an immediate resolution, which might invoke the situation we're going into with the looping stuff. But the way it is now, with her struggling and constantly seeing Rika in a different light and with others and not included in that, and being slowly deprived more and more of those interactions, it's that longer build-up and the more painful build-up that eventually would result in something far worse. At least that's what I would think. Like, if you were told, let's say you had a crush on someone, like a really strong crush on them, you would think that if things worked out, I would be spending the rest of my life with this person. Imagine that situation. And an event happens where you can no longer ever be with that, you can't be with that person again. At least not for a long time, and you don't know if anything could happen in that time, and things could change, feelings could change, etc. That happens, and that's it, you are on your separate journeys. That's going to hurt a lot. But what if you could stay on that journey for a little longer, but slowly over time you go to see that they are interested in someone else, they start spending less and less time with you, and then things like slowly keep getting worse and worse, and you're bottling it up, hoping, things will change. And slowly deceiving yourself into thinking, no, I'm still in control here. What ends out of that is going to be far worse than that just once initial pain. At least that's how my mind thinks. I feel like a slow deprival like that is going to hurt so much more than just that's it. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know your thoughts on that, because that's where I feel like we're going with this to make it that more impactful. If so, it's a good decision in my mind. But yeah, it's it's interesting, and I'm just curious to see these characters growing up. The voice acting change for their grown-up versions. So Yukari Tamura playing Rika and Mika Kanai playing Satsuko. It shows their skill in changing their voice appropriate to the age of their character. Because normally when you cast a character and you have both the child version of the character and the adult version of the character, if it's for an extended period of time when you're constantly switching between them, quite often you'll have especially if there's quite a large age difference, like between, for example, Rudius in Jobless, obviously, they've got two different voices. His original voice voiced and his child voice are very, very different, obviously, because one's a 4-year-old NEET, one's a 7-year-old boy. So it's obvious that you have different characters, and they're technically different people as well, but you know what I mean. But it just shows the VA's range and capabilities to make that change and make it so that you're still the same character, and it's very obvious they're the same character with same speech patterns, same trademark lines, and obviously some of the things they say and some of the ways they behave are obviously going to be the same. That's partly due to the writer, but also just in terms of their delivery of the lines and cadences and stuff like that. It's something that I wish I knew more about the Japanese language. in terms of the way certain people from certain regions, certain upbringings speak differently. Like, obviously, you've got the posh Gokugeyo and things like that. I'm well acquainted with that phrase, going all the way back to like eroge novels like Princess of Angel and stuff like that. If you haven't seen Princess of Angel, I highly recommend to look at that one for if you're looking for a more adult experience. I blame that for my path down to degeneracy, really. But yeah, very talented VAs to make it work and for them to be the same character but just at a different age, which is not as easy as you might think, anyway. So, hats off to them for that. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed that one as much as I did. Leave a like if you did, as well as your comments before the episode. Be mindful that I'm not reading comments as vigorously on this series as others, just because I have not seen the original series. I don't want extra information from that to influence any of my thinking going into this. I still kind of think maybe going in chronological order for the series might be better, but I will never fully understand that until I obviously watch the originals, which we'll be doing after this, etc. I've had this conversation before, but yeah. So just be mindful of comments, and if I don't respond or I'm not liking many of them, then you will understand why. So don't forget to hit subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the Winter 2021 lineup you can find on the channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, see you guys later.